Greetings fellow earthlings and welcome to this Cossacks 3 video in which I want to start off by asking a question. Why hasn't the greatest Cossacks 3 YouTuber in the world, that being me, done a tutorial video yet on how to play Cossacks 3? I don't know why I haven't done one yet, and I was actually planning on doing one of these eventually. I think someone mentioned it in the comment section, so I decided might as well get to work now whilst I have a few hours spare. So yeah, here we go. For your first ever game, these are the settings I would recommend. I'm really sweating right now. I don't know why, my forehead is just really sweaty, so yeah, that's weird. Hard or normal difficulty, I don't know. I've chosen hard difficulty. I usually play on very hard or impossible, but because it's a tutorial video, I'm going to be going through it slowly. It's going to be as less stressful as possible, just because that's how I want to do it. I advise England is always a good nation, France also to start off with. If it's your first ever game, then don't play as Turkey. So Ukraine, Turkey and Algeria, they're a little bit different. A few other nations are slightly different as well, as you can probably tell in my Cossacks 3 rundown in which I go through every nation, but yeah, completely forgotten what I'm on about right now, but yeah. These are the settings I'd recommend for your first game, and here we go. Okay, so here we go. The first thing that I'd recommend actually is make sure you have a decent laptop or computer before you get this game. Mine's quite a good laptop and mine does struggle. It's not a good laptop. It was a good laptop, but that was many years ago now, so now it's not a good laptop. It's a lot like Age of Empires in a way if you've played that game. I know I have. And you can just select a peasant or a group of peasants, and then you can just left click on a building and then left click on the terrain and there you go, build it. That's basically the basics of it. Just click, and if you want them to throw somewhere, just press right click like that and build up our building. These are the buildings I'd advise first: the town hall, the windmill and a mine. Mine, build it on the gold, but I'll get into all these resources later. Also a storehouse as well, but you need the windmill to build a storehouse. Right, as you can see, you can't build every single building yet. Some of them, like a second windmill for example, cost 300 stone. I don't have 300 stone because, as you can see, it's red, whereas the 60 wood, sorry, is yellow, which shows I do have enough resources for that. Also some things like a barracks, can't afford that as well, but you can see in red it says requires building and a blacksmith. So before I can build a barracks to train soldiers, I need a blacksmith, whereas the blacksmith is there, which I also can't build yet because I need stone. So send my peasants to work on some stone and some food. Food is here. Food is the most essential thing in this game. Then possibly second would be gold. It depends on what type of strategy you're going for, but right now I'm getting some more stone. As you can see, it's shooting up here as the peasants work it, and I can now build a barracks by left clicking on a group of peasants and left clicking on the place where I want to place it to build the building. You also have wood here, which I'm going to send my peasants to work on now. Of course, wood is shown by the trees. I think that's fairly obvious. It says here that I have 20 wood, and the number next to it in brackets is how many peasants I have working on the wood. So I have 6 peasants working on food, 5 peasants working on gold, and 0 on iron, for example. Okay, so I can now build a barracks, but first of all I want to train some more peasants. A peasant costs 100 food, however they gather resources, so by right clicking you can send them somewhere to train. I'm going to train them on the wheat here. To train a peasant, you left click and that trains 1. If you want to train 5 of them, you pressed shift and then left click to go up in 5, or train a bit too many of I started running out of food, or if you want to just train an infinite amount so that it just keeps on going, then you hold down control and then left click, and then you can see this will keep on going now until I right click to cancel it, like that. Okay, also there's technologies in this game as well. This one is the one I would advise to be the first one that you get. It costs 750 food, 250 gold, reasonably cheap, depending, with these resources anyway. If you start with less resources then it might be a bit more of a struggle. I advise it, gets you more food per peasant, which is good. Going to I think I've got a good amount of food now, so I'm going to send these peasants to actually come out and work for wood, so I'll direct them in that direction. And also this technology is good as well, the one in the blacksmiths. 400 wood, 100 gold, and that also increases food production. Going on to the more, what shall I call them, the more, I don't know, the more sort of metallic, no, the industrious sort of resources are gold, iron and coal. Iron and coal you need for gunpowder units. Gold is very good to trade for other resources that can be done through the market. I can't get the market yet, it costs 450 wood. I only have 376, that number's shot up. Yeah, I can build a market now. So quickly build a market. These take a while to build, but if you have enough peasants on them then it should be fine. Yeah, you can see my food right now shooting right up. Yeah, that's good. Autosave came up there. Yeah, it should have been caught on camera. It's good to have autosave on because it will crash a lot. There's another technology here, the food one, that appears once I've researched the one that I just researched not long ago. This one is much more expensive and requires progress to the 18th century. Of course I can't go through that yet. If you have any idle peasants that aren't doing anything, then it shows up in the town hall, but it shows up here as well. So you might want to send those to go work on the wood. Also, if you have any mines that are unoccupied, then it appears here, and this is your population here. You have 36 people right now, the maximum is 100, but you can increase the maximum by building certain buildings such as dwellings, town halls and barracks. Speaking of the barracks, I'm going to build one now. I tend to put mine a little bit further away from the nation, some players put them a little bit closer for defence. It's completely up to you. Doesn't matter where you place it really, as long as it's not somewhere completely ridiculous. Then you get an iron mine as well. Iron is a good resource when you're training pikemen. Actually a very good resource, because pikemen require iron. They require 25 food and 20 iron each, and as I said, you can just click on them to train one, and then yeah, that one trains, it comes out of the barracks, and then he's free to walk around, or you can train an infinite amount by holding down control. And I'll send him to explore to try and find my enemy, because fog of war is on right now. It's just a fog of war basically. Can of course be removed by sending people around, as you can see here. They just, ooh, 2 gold sources, that's good. You can see by the icon here, and if you can't tell what gold is, then you can just highlight over it and it tells you there. So I'm going to send some peasants to build a mine. Mines are cheap, actually very cheap, so I advise building lots of mines on the gold. Some players don't usually go as gold full as I do. I really like to have a lot of gold in my nation, and then I can trade it. I'll get into the trading part soon. Yeah, each mine can fill a maximum of 5 peasants, however there are upgrades to these of course that I don't advise in the short game like this video should hopefully be, but if it's going to be a long game where you're going to be here for over 40 minutes, then yeah, you do need to research these technologies and just send in more peasants to these mines. Going to build a second barracks, and also I want to build an academy, but the academy is 1150 wood, which I have almost, and 1200 stone, which I don't have, so I'm going to trade a bit of gold for some stone. Supply and demand, as it says there. You just click on what you want to trade, so if you want to trade wood, food, I do that, but no, it's going to be gold for stone. I mean, you can have 1,000, so 1,000 gold will give you 2,200 stone. I prefer to trade in the hundreds to start off with, because you don't want to be throwing up too much of your resources away like gold early on. Yeah, that should be enough. Build my academy. Got some idle peasants here, so I'll get them working on the food. And now I've got 2 barracks up, so I can train 2 times the amount of pikemen at the same time. How are my explorers doing? Ooh, another gold mine. Yeah, they should find the enemy soon. There's only one enemy, so that should be easy. If it's going to be a quick game where I'm not using gunpowder units, coal becomes pointless, so I'm going to trade my coal for some stone, because I'm not going to be using that coal really, unless this game takes a while. So in a 1v1 like this one is, the enemy appears in one of the 4 corners of the minimap. He's not in this corner, so I'll return this pikeman, and I don't think he's in this corner, so by the looks of things the enemy's going to be somewhere in this corner, because it's the only corner that hasn't yet been searched. Let's build a second town hall. I advise getting a second town hall built as quick as possible. I sort of forgot there, but oh well. Yeah, you can see on the minimap all that blue. If you walk near a peasant that's unguarded, you can capture them, like this. Captured another one as well. I'm just going to delete them for now. Playing against Turkey. Turkey's an interesting nation, a little bit different, and then I can use this peasant to either build a second village of cheaper buildings, because how to explain this? When you build your first town hall, it's quite cheap. The second one's much more expensive, and then the third is really expensive. For example, the first barracks you build costs 300 gold and some other resources as well. The second one is 3,000 gold and some other resources. The third one is 30,000 gold and some other resources. So if you build a second village by a second nation, such as this Turkish peasant here, then you get them cheaper. You'll probably figure that out eventually soon though, possibly in your first game. Right, so I built the academy now. The academy is just full of technologies. Some of the best ones are this one here, just helps with food. This is sort of essential, this one. This one's going as well. It's cheap, gets you extra food. I'm researching this, and you can see the bar. Once that bar is full, then it's researched. This wood one is quite good. The stone one's quite good as well, because they increase wood and stone. This one's good, but it's very expensive, so I probably won't get that one. Let me just train some more peasants. And finally, another good one is this balloon upgrade here. Reveals the entire map, but you need to be in the 18th century to do that. To get into the 18th century, you just need to build near enough all of these buildings here. Next I'm probably going to go for a stable. Don't usually use a stable that much, but yeah, I might as well. Gonna trade a bit of gold as well for some wood, and research some more technologies to just boost my economy a little bit. I've built a Turkish town hall now, so I can now train Turkish peasants. Could build another one as well, actually. Yeah, so if you've got 4 town halls up in the first, I think this is 20 minutes, then that is good, that's good. Can't complain with 4 town halls built this early. Diplomatic centres are good as well, they train mercenaries which cost gold. And gold only, so yeah, that can be good. My iron is running low, as you can see, so I'm gonna quickly send some peasants to build the iron mine. Also, food is gonna start running low as well because I don't have enough people working on food. So just grab a handful of peasants and just throwing them on the food to get that worked. Another thing that's good to do is to get an army built. Now, soldiers are brilliant, of course, but when they're in formation, they're even better. For formation, you need a drummer and an officer. The officer's slightly more expensive. The drummer's just a normal cheap unit, so they're good. The drummer can't fight. The officer can fight, but he's not the greatest unit in the world. And these come out. To train these units, you need to have an academy built first. Where is this officer? Well, I can just highlight my army and see I've got 214 pikemen, 1 officer, 1 drummer. Just click on the officer, and then these are the formations here. I want square formation, 196 soldiers. You can get them of course in like 36 soldiers or 72 soldiers. 196 as well, and that's just sort of the mathematics of how it works. I've built the stables now. I'm not going to really train any cavalry units. I don't see much point in them. But one thing I am going to train is some mercenaries. All these mercenaries are unique. You probably we'll have the top 6, these bottom 2 here. These are just like different skins because I bought a different edition. I think that's one that you get. To get these, I think you buy it in the first 2 weeks of release. There! Getting my words completely mixed up. To get these 2 units here, you buy the game in the first 2 weeks of release. But that time has long passed now. I could be wrong. I can't exactly remember 100%, but oh well. These 2 units here, the round shield and the light infantryman, are basically the same sort of units, just normal swordsmen that fight with your soldiers. I'm going to train some of these round shielders. Archers are good as well. Of course, with archers, but I can't explain them any further there. They work like musketeer units, but they're not musketeer units. Grenadiers are brilliant and unique units. Also, all of these mercenaries so far are cheap. Some of these ones are a bit more expensive. Grenadiers have a musket or rifle, one of those anyway, and I'm actually going to train some of these. Also, they have a bayonet attached on the end of a gun, which they can use to just stab the enemy if it gets a little bit into close combat. Completely lost myself now. And also, if you send them towards an enemy building, they're able to throw a grenade or an explosive towards that building, and then therefore blow it up. The Sikh Cossack, brilliant units, they're very quick. You could have some normal village like this, and then all of a sudden about 5 Sikh Cossacks might come down and destroy everything, because of course there's a capture option, as I mentioned. Should have gone into more detail of the capturing thing. If you have a peasant or certain types of economic or civilian buildings such as town halls, markets or storehouses, without any soldiers guarding them, then all the enemy need to do is send 1 unit towards that building, and that's it, it's captured and it's under their control. Sometimes the buildings blow themselves up, sometimes they don't. It's just luck of how that works. These are, it might sound complex, but these are things that you get used to after the first game, or possibly the second game. The final unit is the Dragoon. I love Dragoons. Dragoons are cavalry units with a musket, very powerful, but they cost a lot of gold, 100 gold, and if you train one, the second one is more expensive, and then the third one's more expensive than that, so you don't want to train these in an infinite amount, otherwise you'll just be in debt. You just want to train about 10 of them. I'm not going to train 10 of them, but that's sort of how you want to do it. I got one out accidentally, oh well. Yeah, I had to build a gold mine, no, sorry, a coal mine there, because I've realised I've got musketeer units like my grenadiers, yeah, grenadiers, and these of course need iron and coal to fire their guns. Seems to be a bit of lag right now, it's not usually this bad. Right, gonna build a Turkish barracks, I can then build a Turkish... oh, I'm doing it again. I'm gonna build a Turkish blacksmith, so I can get a Turkish barracks built. What else do I want? I want an academy, not an academy, I've got one of those built, an artillery depot. These allow you to build cannon units. I might train a cannon in this video, I might not. It depends what I can bother doing. Wow, this lag is getting really bad. That's why you need a good PC, otherwise it gets really laggy and 1v1s become the biggest threat you can actually have. Right, come on then. I should be able to build 2 or 3 barracks. 1, 2. If you're wondering how I'm building them in queue like this, just to stack them up, you hold down shift and then you left click. That's how I managed to build 3 of them there. And highlight them all, right click, and then that X comes up, and that's where all units will go once I train them. If there's any questions you have, then just ask me below. I'll try and I should be able to answer them, of course. I've played this game for many years. Many years now. Actually, I've just realised how long I've actually been playing this game for. Wow. I don't even know how long it is. Right, anyway, I can now... oh, not yet. I can't enter the 18th century yet because I still need a cathedral. Costs iron. Usually I don't bother with going into the 18th century, usually I just kill my enemy before then, but it's good to show it in the tutorial video. So build the cathedral there. My army's building up now. Left click to select them all and then I can move them forward like this. Get them into some form of position. Ah, my 3 barracks is... oh, stupid autosave. Ah, the enemy's coming for me, as I can see on the minimap. So, I'm going to highlight my soldiers. Right, they're walking away. One thing that I need to do that I forgot to do for some reason is to upgrade my units. These units are of course good, but they need to be upgraded. And there's attack and defense upgrades that increase the statistics. I'm going to do a video in a couple of days or weeks time about all these statistics and what all these numbers down here mean, and like that 2 there and that 7 there. I'll do a video on that someday. But right now I just need to upgrade these pikemen, make them a little bit stronger. And there. They start off quite cheap, but get more expensive throughout the game. But yeah, I think, yeah, I researched some, so let's research some more. They cost food and gold mostly. Then train some priests, just 5 of those. Priests heal your units, which is good. Keep them alive on the battlefield. Can't really complain if they're doing that. I can now enter the 18th century, but I don't think I can afford it yet. 45,000 food, nope, nowhere near. 10,000 gold, yep, near enough, and 18,000 iron. Right, I'm gonna have to do some big trading right now. Right, so as you can see, I'm trading lots of my resources for other resources. and just by trading all of my wood I've managed to actually afford it, which is good. So going to click on the town hall, and I completely underestimated its cost. Got about 10,000 iron with stuff when counting it there. Right, trade a bit of gold for a bit of iron. Right, I'll be able to afford it eventually. Still going to keep on upgrading these technologies. Population space is full. I have 850 people and 850 limits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select one person. I meant to click two, but oh well. And left click on the dwelling. Dwellings are cheap, but they become more expensive over time. But it's only about once you build 100 of them that this causes a problem. Build the dwellings quite close together so that you can fit as many in as possible. And each one of these allows you to train an extra 20 soldiers. A bit like in Age of Empires, where the dwelling can train 5 extra soldiers, these are more like 20 or something like that. It's rare that I actually build dwellings, because everyone's usually dead by this time, but yeah, so this peasant will now build all of these dwellings. I created it like this so that it builds them in order by holding down shift, left clicking and then left clicking every single time to keep on building it. Should be able to. Oh, I still can't afford it. And now I can afford it. Oh, no, I can't. Because units cost iron, so it's sending my iron up and down. Yes, we can afford it. We've bought it. We enter it within about 5 seconds, which is good. And boom, we're in the 18th century. I see no difference with my buildings, but I can now get the balloon. It's a bit expensive, but not too expensive, I don't think. Just quickly trade a bit of wood for a bit of gold, so I can upgrade these. And there we go, the balloon is up. So now the entire map is revealed, and now I feel like God. I can see everything. This is my enemy. It's on hard difficulty, so their nation isn't as good as mine. They have a tower built. Yeah, you can build walls and towers in this game as well. And an army here. That's just facing the other way. Because it's not on a that good difficulty, the enemy don't really know what they're doing. Some buildings that I don't really build, but you know, they could come in handy as a tower. There's also the wooden wall that you can just left click and then take your finger off the mouse and then it just builds it like that, and then double click when you're done. Don't build a wall like that in a real game, I'm just showing you it. And then stone walls as well, like that. And eventually the peasants will have those built, hopefully. There's also the final build in this game that I haven't shown you yet, is the 18th century barracks. These are very expensive. I don't think I'll build one of these, but they train very good pikemen, well, very quick pikemen, very good 18th century musketeers, some grenadiers as well, and depending on what nation you get some unique units. For example, Britain get the Highlander, French get the Chasseurs, Austria get the Pandur, and some other nations get some other stuff, depending on what you're playing as. So if you want to know all these information about all the different nations individually, then check out my Cossacks 3 rundown, which should go through every single nation, discuss strengths, weaknesses. I do make some mistakes, and of course patches do mess the videos up a little bit, but oh well, it's near enough accurate, and if there are any changes that I know about, then I do put up annotations to say that this has changed over time or something. I have an idle peasant here somewhere. Where is he? Over there for some reason. Yeah, and I think that's about it. So he's still building the dwellings wherever yeah, there he is. See him there. Here's an important thing I forgot to mention. Mercenary units cost gold per turn. Not per turn, but like per second, or however this game works. Yeah, so be careful of that, and if you run out of gold, they will betray you. So say you have 10 dragoons, and you only have 1 gold mine, then like each dragoon might cost 1 gold. 100 gold altogether, but 1 gold over time, and eventually you're going to go down in gold and down until eventually you might run out of gold. So make sure you have more people in gold mines than you do mercenaries on the battlefield. You'll get used to that eventually. If you do run out of gold, they do betray you, and then they join a separate, not a neutral nation, but a nation that isn't in the game, the brown nation, and they'll just kill anybody basically. Lots of this might not make any sense at all, but you will get used to it eventually. Now, for moving soldiers into the battlefield, you can just like move them round as normal, like that, or you can hold down right and you can like set them to face that way or something. Or what is probably the best way as well, you can click move attack by left clicking and then left clicking and then choose where you want them to go and then right click. And now they will attack everyone on the way. I don't know any other game that does that. There are games that do that. But I don't actually know any that do that. Get some final technologies research to make my troops strong. Also, this technology here is good as well. Gives them an extra bit of heal. It's a bit like everyone's just had an extra priest next to them for the last second or so that's good. And here we go. The dragoon to fire requires iron and coal. Sorry. There's so much lag right now. I don't know why. It's not usually this bad. It's probably to do with the new patches. It's messed up, but that should improve eventually. But soon in a bit. Yeah, make sure you have a good laptop before you buy this. Otherwise it does become very laggy. You can see my officer there in his uniform. Well done, soldier. Yeah, that's them all dead. And now because I sent them into that auto move and attack thing, I'm going to keep on marching towards the enemy. 2 idle peasants here. Heal them as well. You don't have to heal them because the priests do that and they might not have even taken any damage, but I still think it's good at times. Best to keep them alive. Ah yeah, here's the wall, here's the wooden wall, and here's the tower. You can upgrade the tower. You can build a wooden gate as well that can be opened and closed, and also a stone gate that works exactly the same. Open and close. Open, close. Could do that all day. Loads of technologies in the academy. Cannons as well in the barracks and also in the blacksmiths. Dwellings, there's nothing inside. These are just a standing dwelling. They don't really do anything else. And now the final part should be just the final bit of battle. I did say some buildings do explode, mines do explode, so be careful of that. So as you can see, I might capture it. Yes, I captured it. Yeah. So sometimes you capture the enemy mines, sometimes it'll explode on you. It just completely depends. If you want to select all units, then press Control and then A. But you can see, because of this, I've selected my peasants as well. So you can just right click on the left click on the peasants, or left click on anything else you don't want to send in, like my Turkish peasants as well. They just auto-save. Left click on those and they're cancelled from the list. Then I want to march into their city. Left click on that, march in, attack on the way, and I'm doing it without holding down Control now. I'm just going to click naturally on the grenadiers, and I'm going to tell them to attack the tower, because as I said, grenadiers have a grenade that can just throw at buildings and destroy them. So that should hopefully destroy the tower. And we're going to see a mine explode. Oh, stupid lag didn't let me move. Oh well. Hopefully we'll get to see another mine explode. Yeah, mine's exploding now. This one might explode as well. Or maybe it might just join my side. Or maybe it might not get captured at all. Oh, now there's a soldier guarding it. Come on, I want to see it explode. Hey, one exploded. Yeah, that one exploded as well. So you can see my grenadiers throwing their grenades at this tower. Let's zoom in a bit. The grenades are easier to see if you've got a better computer that can handle the better graphics. Ooh, that's loud. But my computer just has to run on the lowest graphics settings because that's just how it is. I do want an upgrade, but I don't really have any money right now, so that's completely out of the question. And that's them dead. So you can see dwellings and town halls have been just captured and destroyed, or still just captured, like this blacksmith here. I can still free to use that. But military units like churches or mosques, some reason count as military units, I don't know why. The diplomatic centre, where you train your mercenaries, the barracks, these don't get captured. The stables doesn't get captured as well. So yeah, be careful of what buildings can and can't get captured. Press delete just to delete some units if you need to. Same with buildings as well, like if I don't want this blacksmith, just press delete and it deletes. And I think that should be everything. We still have some things here. Let's just send some units up here just to finish them off. We're still training mercenaries as well. Send some grenadiers to destroy the diplomatic centre because they're good at destroying buildings. I could send in towers to destroy the diplomatic centre as well, and things like that. Did I say towers or cannons? Send in cannons for it, don't send in a tower, otherwise a tower cannot move. Hey, and I've won. You don't have to kill everybody and destroy everything, sometimes it's just destroy enough and it'll understand that you've won. If you want to save the replay of your video, then you can just save it here. As you can see, some of mine here. Some of my next videos are possibly here as well. Statistics screen, there's actually an arrow just here behind the minimap. I don't know how to get the minimap to move out of the way. Somewhere around, yeah, that sends you on to the next thing. You can see the statistics and these statistics here showing you how many people have died. It's still a working game. And by that I mean it's still in progress, it's not fully complete, still bringing out patches at least weekly. I think it could be about possibly, I don't know when it's going to be fully complete to a point in which they just leave it and have no more patches, no more updates, and just the game is just finished. I don't know when they're going to do that, if ever. It might just continue. There's meant to be another 8 nations coming out very soon, and I quote, they actually said very soon or something along those lines actually. But it's not an exact quote, but it's near enough. Yeah, so we're meant to get these 8 extra nations. I can't wait to check those out and do my Cossacks rundown on those as well. It's going to be a bit more difficult though, so yeah. Oh well. Anyway, hope you found this useful. If you've got any questions, comment down below. I've clearly missed some things, I know I've missed some things out, but those were the basics. Hope you found it useful, and if you ever, after having a bit of practice of course because I'm brilliant, if you ever want to play against me, I'll just comment below. I'll get in touch with you, might even add you as a friend on Steam. Steam is of course the site online that is required for this, but it's free. It'll probably download with the game if you haven't downloaded it already. So yeah, that's all safe there. Yeah. But whatever I was on about, hope you, what am I on about? Hope you enjoyed this video, hope it was useful, and goodbye.